Welcome, looters, to the really awesome unboxing of the Pro2 Bluetooth GamePad controller. I am the Loot Gamer. If y'all enjoyed, give me a thumbs up and a subscribe, because I want to bring you guys some more epic looking loot over here. In my next video, I'll be unboxing the really gorgeous looking NS30 Pro Bluetooth GamePad. If you want to check it out, I'll leave a link at the comment below. But in this video, of course, we want to check out the Pro Bluetooth GamePad controller from 8-Bit Studios. Having a look at the packaging over here, fellas, I'm really liking it. Really nice and minimalistic over here. You can see the controller, and to be honest, this kind of reminds me of the first PlayStation 1 controller. I'll even put an image on the left there. Tell me this does not remind you of it, but I'm really liking this. I got this from EB Games for 90 Australian dollars, so a pretty damn good price point. But having a look at the packaging, you can see really nice image here. Pro2 Bluetooth. Of course, this also works with the Switch, Windows, Android, Mac, and also Steam as well. So it's good to see you're actually able to connect to all those different platforms. On the side over here, really nice and plain. The back over here, basically all the juicy information that I just mentioned earlier. Also supports Resberry Pi as well, with Bluetooth 2.0 and above certified. So it's good to see we get that kind of functionality. This over here is a gray edition, and apparently there's a black edition. Kind of curious to kind of see how it actually looks like. But let me kind of just sort of slide this through. Beautiful. So as we can see, it's all nice and out. Really nice sort of gray box. I'll probably just open it nice and gently with some sort of respect. Beautiful. And right now over here, fellas, you can kind of see, we grab over here, Australian warranty statement over here, in case y'all wanted to see that. Let's put that to the side. And over here, guys, is the controller. Oh man, this looks gorgeous. Let me kind of take this off, if I may. Oh, so sort of a nice sort of a plastic that comes off just like that. And let's kind of put that controller to the side for now. So of course we grab ourselves a USB that connects to it over there. Some private information about it. Don't you guys want to see that? Put that on to the side, and let's kind of have a look at this controller over here, because I'm very interested to kind of see how this looks. Okay guys, let me kind of take off this and sort of admire the way this controller looks like. Oh man, this is a really cool looking controller. I'm loving the two-tone over here. You can see it's got this sort of dark gray and the light gray at the front with some buttons at the back here, which is nice to see. Are you guys able to hear that? It's really nice and mushy there. So you can see over here, it has the P1 and P2. And over here, you can kind of see it has some sort of switch here. Opening over here, you kind of see this is obviously where you put your batteries. If I can even open this up, it's really hard. So there you go. So your battery over here obviously is rechargeable from 8Bitdo. It's good to see it kind of includes a battery in there. But in terms of the front of the face over here, you can kind of see it's got the same sort of connectivity as the Nintendo Switch. But have a look at that. That looks so cute, right? The front face over here looks pretty dope. Let's kind of feel these buttons. As you can see, guys, these buttons are very responsive. Let's kind of feel the buttons on top here, the L and R. These are very deep, like you're really able to press it. So honestly, guys, first impressions in terms of comfort over here, it feels very comfortable. You look at the controller over here, guys, really minimalistic, but pretty cool. Let's kind of go through the buttons over here and kind of see exactly what we get. So over here, you can kind of see there's a start button. And what this button kind of does is it kind of makes the functionality turbo. So all I got to do is turn on the controller, hold down this button, and then place any button or map anything else to absolutely make it turbo. So in your game, you can kind of just press that button and it'll become turbo mode. Of course, over here, we have our D-pad, our analog stick. This over here is our profile button. And to turn on this controller, all you got to do is press the start button like that. And as you can see, it's on, kind of searching. To turn it off, all you got to do is hold it for 3 seconds. And then bam, it turns off. This button over here is your home button for the Nintendo Switch. Of course, these are all your buttons. And honestly, guys, I'm loving the way these buttons feel. They feel so damn satisfying. Just listen to that. And so comfortable too. But moving back to the controller, this is where things get very, very interesting. Having a look at the back over here, fellas, you can see we grab ourselves 2 buttons here that you're actually able to map using the turbo function itself. And at the bottom here, you could see it has a SADX function. So the S over there is to connect to Switch. The A over there is to connect to any Android device. The D connects to macOS, and X is to connect to any Windows device too. And inside, as you saw earlier, is a battery. So it's good to know that you're able to recharge that. And I showed you guys earlier, these are your L2, R2, and this button over here kind of pairs any Bluetooth device together. And as mentioned earlier, you'll be able to connect your USB-C inside this straight to your PC itself. But now let me kind of show you guys the connectivity features on how to connect this bad boy to your Nintendo Switch. So first things first, all you got to do over here, of course, is go all the way to your controller, press this button over here, that's it, start. As you can see, it's looking for something. At this over here, you got to hold this button for a couple of seconds to actually connect the Bluetooth. Whilst that does this thing, you got to also make sure at the back over here, it's on S. And all I got to do over here is saying pairing new controller. Wait for this thing to do. It says here, you can pair controllers at the same time, hit done. And you'll be able to actually see in just a moment. All right, now, so having a comparison between all the controllers here, the PlayStation 4, Xbox Series Elite, Monster Hunter Rise Pro controller for the Switch, and of course the Pro 2 controller, and have a look at how wide this controller is compared to the other ones. And as you can see over here, it's even wider than the Xbox Series Elite 2. When it comes to the PlayStation 4 Pro, it's kind of more wider than that as well. So bear in mind, guys, this is a very wide controller, but in terms of weight, it's very light. And I would even say the lightest of them all. So in case you guys are worried about weight, this controller would definitely have you. But in terms of wideness, this may kind of shock you a bit, and you'll actually know the difference, especially if you have any one of these type of controllers. We are going to play a quest right now on Monster Hunter Rise with this really awesome controller. So what I want to do right now is show you guys how this controller performs and see if there's any lags. This over here is my first impressions of this controller. And so far, so good. Now let's sort of go down, maybe sort of track down one of these baddies. So as you guys can see, it's playing absolutely perfectly. And there actually is vibration on this controller in case you guys are wondering. But unfortunately, it doesn't work with any amiibos at all. So just bear in mind, guys, no HD rumble either. It's just, you know, a bit disappointing, honestly, but at least, you know, there's some sort of haptics and vibrations in this game when you sort of use your bow. Now, let's kind of go all the way down. That's one thing I was a little bit disappointed about was, you know, lack of HD rumble. But over here, we can see the baddie. And one thing that I do like about this controller, guys, it's very comfortable. All right, here we go. So now we are going to face this head on. Look at that thing. I'm really impressed about these graphics. Oh, man. All right, you won't get me. You won't get me. Man, this is a crazy looking alligator looking, I don't know what the hell you call this thing. Oh, yeah, that thing sort of, oh, man. But as y'all can see, it performs like a gem, like an absolute gem. The vibrations aren't really that hard. Very subtle vibrations, but of course, as you know, you're able to customize the vibration. Let's try to take down this thing. It'll take me forever. Oh. Just missed me. Woo! Man. But as y'all can see, it plays very flawless on the Switch. Let's kind of check out how this game will actually, or this controller will play on the PC. Alrighty, guys, over here, of course, we got the controller, and what we want to do right now is to connect it to the PC. So first thing we got to do, guys, is turn on the controller by pressing the start button. So you can kind of see over there, it's flashing and blinking. At the back over here, you got to remove it all the way to the X. And then first thing we got to do over here is kind of go to your Bluetooth, kind of open it up at the bottom over here, and you say show Bluetooth. And then the next thing we got to do is add a Bluetooth device. Next thing we got to do is hold this button over here. So you can see it says 8Bitdo Pro2. Kind of connected to that. Hold this button down and kabam, it is already connected. Let's kind of open up a game like Cyberpunk and kind of see how this controller will actually go. All right, people, we are playing Cyberpunk 2077, everything on Ultra with the RTX 3090. So we have got everything on Psycho when it comes to ray tracing shadows. Let's kind of see how this controller performs on Cyberpunk 2077. This game looks so good, man. And what I'll do is I'll do a bit of driving. so you guys can kind of see what I can see. Just kind of move along. Maybe I'll get into some combat, but honestly guys, it plays really well. I got no issues at all. But the weird thing is that there's no sort of vibrations when you sort of like break your car or anything like that. You can't feel no haptics at all. Let's answer that.
Hey, you hear me?
Loud and clear. Don't need to yell. What's up?
Doing a little competition. Shooting, prizes and all. You know, over here with the range.
That'd make sense.
Well, you in?
Sure thing. So of course, guys, you're gonna map your buttons because of course X is not really isn't really the proper X there. So just bear in mind in case you want to buy this game, you want to buy this controller.
Sure.
For this game.
In. When?
Well, right now. We'll wait on you. See ya.
All right, let's take this dude down. All right, so I killed this dude, and yep, I do feel a bit of vibration. Let's see whether the police are going to spawn right behind me. Apparently, they actually fixed that issue in the game. All right, so I've got to somehow get inside this car. There you go. Let's get away if we can. Man, this game looks absolutely beautiful. So I'm getting around 72 FPS with everything on maximum graphics quality. So I'm playing on a 3440 by 1440p monitor. RTX on, and honestly, this controller plays perfectly. No lag at all. Okay guys, one thing I love about this controller as well is the software. So over here you can see the controller is just chilling. I was able to just pair this controller to my phone really easily, and then all I got to do is kind of tap onto my controller like that. And as you can see over here, you're actually able to create 3 different profiles, which I reckon is pretty cool. We can even go to mapping over here and change all the mapping. So in case you guys want to have the B as an X button, or if you want to kind of create the Xbox experience, you actually be able to map that. Even the PS4 experience, you can even do that as well. So I really love the way this controller is really customizable. Even the 2 back buttons on this controller, as you know, the P1 and P2, you're also able to adjust that. So even moving down over here, even the sticks, you're able to even change how sensitive the sticks are. You can even invert the X and Y, even swap the sticks if you really wanted to, swap the D-pad and left stick, and even to swap the right stick and also the triggers. Once you actually make these effects, you actually be able to sync to the controller seamlessly, which I reckon is a pretty awesome thing. This is one thing I love the most, guys, is the sensitivity. So kind of check this out. I'll actually change the sensitivity of my right part of the controller. As you can see there, so you're able to maximize the sensitivity on either side. And I love the fact that it shows this in real time. This is a really dope feature. You can even change the motion sensitivity to low all the way to high. Even macros, in case you guys wanted to even add them, all you gotta just do is press the plus button over there and then sort of set the macro in terms of what you really wanted it to be. This controller is dope, fellas. And over here, of course, the settings, and you'll be able to change different languages and even update the firmware. This controller, guys, just for this software on your phone, is absolutely epic. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So what are my final thoughts or impressions of this controller? The 8Bitdo Pro2 controller for me is interesting, guys. It's a very different feeling like controller. It's very wide, but very light. So when you hold it in your hands, it'll just feel very awesome. I love the way these buttons feel. They feel very nice and satisfying. It's weird to explain it, but they feel really awesome. The one downside about this is there's no HDR rumble or even the IR camera. So just bear in mind, guys, you won't be able to use those features as you get with the Switch Pro controller itself. But besides that, this controller feels awesome. And one other thing, I kind of felt as though the vibration was a bit off. Even though it was on maximum, it didn't feel as premium, obviously, as a Switch Pro 2 controller. But of course, this controller was $90 compared to $110 for the Switch Pro. So I'm assuming you won't get those features. But besides that, it's a damn good price. And honestly, it's awesome. You're able to customize this to your heart's content using the software as I just showed y'all. So this is definitely worth it. So in case y'all want to have the Xbox format, you could do that. Or even switch back to the Switch format, you could do that too. So that for me is a massive thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I am the Loot Gamer. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Deuces.